Hello and welcome to Creative Sewing. I'm Aideen and I'm delighted to be able to bring you this Christmas tutorial today. I'm on the Christmas robin decoration. This is one of the series of tutorials that I'm doing over the winter and spring season in association with Healthy Ireland and Kildare County Council. And we'll be doing 2 tutorials a month for the seasons, but of course this is the Christmas one, back to the Christmas theme, and of course the robin is always a symbol of Christmas and of course the ones you love, and it's a lovely gift to give, certainly a little decoration with the robin, or certainly keep yourself. And the gift of giving of Christmas is a tradition worldwide, you know, and the art of giving and receiving gifts is something very special indeed. And certainly we can get going with our little pack and our pattern there today. We have a pattern here and everything we need then, supplies then with it. Now it is hand sewing, so we'll need our needle and thread then as well. But of course we're going to cut this out first. So we'll start with the red for the red breast. So carefully cutting around the edges of that. Now I have some little dots and that on it that might need to be marked as well with a pen, and that is just where the beak goes, where the eye, and where you join on the other parts as well. And we'll cut out our other pieces as well when we're at it. I suppose it'd be no harm. That's most of our pieces cut out there at that. So as I say, we're starting with the red little breast and the red fabric that you have there. So what I would do would be fold 2 right sides together, okay, which is this part here. So we can place that on and we can pin it on. Then we'll be cutting it out. Okay, that's that cut out. Okay, now we're going to cut out our little piece in white. So getting our little piece in white and folding it over in half, okay, and pinning it on, of course, and then with a fabric scissors then cutting it all around. Okay, so our brown piece then folding it in half again and putting it down, leaving enough room then for our wings as well, okay. Now that's all your pieces cut out there at that, and we'll just cut the little wing out, 2 wings out as well. Now so that's all your pieces cut out there. What we need to do now is get a pen, and if we can mark the little dots. So on the brown there, marking the little dot there where it meets up, okay, if you can mark it, okay, and or maybe if you had white chalk now, but I can see that now, just a little dot, so you can actually see where the other pieces join up, okay. And the same on this one, just folding back your pattern piece and underneath, marking the little dots on the head. And for the eye as well, actually you can do the eye, if you open up you can do the eye on the inside, so you can just have that marked. And then just this is just a little opening at the end then where you're going to be stopped sewing. There's no marking. And then the little dots on this is where there gets a little bit of embroidery on it. So if you can manage to get the little dots done, okay, and follow them. Okay. Again, you might want to do it, maybe if you had it in white either, you might see it better. You need to do the same on the other side then as well, okay? Okay, so that's all your dots done there at that, okay? So now we're going to assemble it. So we take off our pins. So what we might do is actually do it on the ironing board. It might be easier, okay? So if we layer it, and actually we'll start with the brown, okay? So if you do the brown, and then we layer up our little bit of white, and you can see where the little dot is where it comes up to, and layering it up by, as I say, 0.5, just a little layer over 0.5 either side of a centimetre then. Okay, so it's 5 millimetres, and then layering up this one as well. So all layered up and tucking in, making sure that you have his head tucked in then as well. There's this one here, going that way, that direction, and going this direction. So we layer up again. You can do it by eye, just enough to layer it up, and we're going to be stitching it through. So what we're going to do here is going to put a little bit of Veline on top, and that has glue on one side and soft on the other. So it's very possible to pin it because it's so fine. So layering up, enough to layer it up that you'll be actually able to sew right through. Matching up your little dots here on your on the head, where the little point meets there as well. See where the little point meets there. Make sure you have that added in, that you have it meeting. And then with the sugary side or the glue side down, literally put it on top. Ironing this so that we can, it will glue a little bit for us. Now, it's taking that off the ironing board like so. So there you have your two pieces. Okay, two pieces of the robin, and as I say again, there's the little bit of layering, a little bit of layering up so that you can actually stitch it. So we can actually stitch that, do a little bit of hand stitching now. So a little bit length about, I suppose, your arm straight out. So you don't want it too long initially. And with embroidery thread, I think this one, you know, you could splice it a little bit. So you can divide it up 3 and 3 threads, okay? And just takes a little bit of time to splice it up, pulling the bottom of it like so, and that's one piece, and this is the other. So we'll do this for now, and then we'll use a thicker piece then for the around the edges. Okay, so in through the needle, and so what we can do then is just double it up. I'm just showing you 2 different ways then to use your embroidery thread. So we're just doing a little back stitch really, so you're coming up from the bottom and come in a little bit for your stitch. Okay, so it's back and forward, small little stitches. Decide what length your stitches you want. Okay, so back and forward, okay, back and forward all the way along. Okay, so back into that hole, and you want to be forward then another stitch. So your thread needs to be coming out from the center all the time, okay? But it is important that you go back into that hole there, okay? That we need it in right into that back hole, and then forward the same distance. So a lot of it's by eye, basically, just doing it back and forward the whole way along, okay? So trying to get your stitches even there at that, okay, all the way along. So in and out all the way along. And then when you come to the end, then you need to do a little back stitch, so pushing your thread to the back and doing finding a little spot there to go round 2 or 3 times, then just a little back stitch then there, okay? So you're literally going onto your white. So another piece of thread there, and another little back stitch then, in and out, and back stitching in and out, back and forward. Forward all the way along until you come to the end. So you're just at the end there now, and we'll be doing a little back stitch, so pulling through then down to the back, okay, and then just doing your back stitch there then at that, 2 little stitches then there at that. Okay, so we have the wing here, all right, and we might need to embroider it first. So this is the little bit embroidery, a little bit of a kind of a chain stitch on that. So what you do with that is come up from your first little dot, okay, from your from this dot here, from the bottom dot. We'll do the small one first. So come up from your dot on its own with your embroidery thread, having a knot on the end. Now you're going back down through that hole again, okay, back down through that hole again, okay, and then up to one of your dots, okay. So coming up from the dot at the bottom, back down through that same dot and come back up through one of these other little dots ahead of yourself, okay. But before you pull it out, just wrap around a loop, okay. So, and be careful now you don't pull it too tight, leaving your loop nice and soft, okay. So you have a nice soft loop. Now you're just looped on the top there, so stabbing back down over the loop, okay, I don't know whether you can see that, stabbing back down over the top of the loop to the back, and that's that one finished. So you start again at the bottom, coming up again at the bottom, okay. So this is kind of tight at the bottom for space, but we'll just keep going with it. Back down at the bottom and back up to your middle dot, wrap it around, okay, wrap it around, and again then stabbing in over the top of that little leaf there, or little stem that we're after making there. So there you have your 3 little loops. So you can do the same for the next one up here. So you can just bring your thread forward a little bit, okay. So bring your thread forward, and again we're coming up from the bottom little dot, back down the dot, and reach over to one of the top dots. There's 3 dots at the top, wrapping around, okay. So you get a loop like that, okay, and then you're stabbing in over the top of that loop just to hold it in place, and coming back up at the bottom again. So you're back down to the bottom all the time, back down to the bottom again, it's come up from the bottom, come back down, and then up to the center top one, wrapping around the top like so, okay, stabbing in over the top, and that's it. So now you have your 3 little stems on that, okay, and back down over the top of that. So you'll have, that's your 3 little stems, top and bottom, and then you have to do a little back stitch here then in this, okay, a little back stitch in that. Now that stage, and then you were looking for your little gold beads to put them on the very corners at the bottom of your little stem, just a little decoration. So bringing up your thread to the bottom, put on your bead onto your needle, and 1 little stitch should do it, and that's your little gold bead then on there, okay. So if you want now, we can actually put on our little wing now. So we can position them, looking at our picture and marking out where we need to put it, and putting a little pin in it just when we have it in position, okay. So it's just again another little back stitch at the top of that. So just when you have your thread on, so it's just around the top of that, okay. So back and forward, now we have a little robins here all done out, and of course I have the other one done here. Now just want to do the little beak then as well. I've just cut out the little beak there, just in a little black piece of felt, okay, from our pattern, okay, and just so you have a little bit of black felt as well. Now we just want to look and see about the little, had 2 little markers there where the beak, so on the top there, so folding it over, and then just position it then into the two little markers in there, okay. And it is quite small, so just getting your pin in and putting the 2 wrong sides together, of course, on this one, all right. And just lining up your browns and your creams and that, and you might need to tidy up just a little bit on your felt, just trimming back just ever so slightly. Then what I like to do then is just skim off just what we don't need, then just little bits from around. Okay, so that's your 2 pieces together. Now where we're starting at the bottom, of course, there's two little markers at the bottom there, on the inside there of where we're starting to go right around then in that, and then we'll be able to stop. We're going to thread up some embroidery thread and use it as a single tier there if you want it, either instead of folding it over and splitting it. Okay, so we're going to use a little blanket stitch on this, so starting on the inside, putting our knot on the inside. Okay, and just stabbing up a little distance in and wrapping round, okay, to make a start. Okay, and leaving it quite loose, the first one, because I always like to grab it later on then. All right, so making out the same distance in, same distance across, kind of making a square. So wrapping, stabbing up, and then you're wrapping round then your thread then, and keeping it quite loose on the edge. And again, stabbing up in the same distance and wrapping round. Okay, and you have your little thread then on the edge the whole way along. Okay, so you continue to do that, stabbing up and wrapping round, as I say, just to get you started and not to be pulling too much. The secret to this is making a little square, so it's the same distance in as the same distance round. And I'll just show you how to go past. You kind of just ignore the beak, really, just trying to gauge it either side of it if you can. Okay, now beak is probably in a bit far. Now we'll just try and adjust it a little bit. So stabbing up, wrapping round, okay, all the time, stabbing up, and you can actually stab through the beak now this time. Just stabbing up, then past it, and okay, and stabbing up and looping round. Okay, okay, that's it. Okay, so just stabbing up and looping past it as you go round. All right, and loop it round again if you can. If you want, you can mark them out for you. Sometimes do a little dots, and that can be handy too. Okay, so just going around the back of the head now. Now when we come to the corner, then try and judge your corner that you're in like the center. Okay, so you're halfway around. Got to loop into that again. Okay, so there you are, and then just going round the corner, nearly going back into the same loop and getting short on thread now. So let me try and loop that round. That's it. Get round this corner then, and then we can get new thread. Okay, so that's your corner done. So I can see if I can get one more in here, and then we'll have to finish off and get new thread. So to finish off then, just literally do a tiny little back stitch on the top there. Okay, and then just try and tuck your thread in. Okay, and we'll leave a little bit of a leg on it, and we can cut it off. Don't cut it off too tight. So they're lovely gifts to give out, little handmade gifts at Christmas. I always love to receive a little handmade gift. Certainly somebody's put the effort in of doing a little gift for you, which is lovely. Again, starting off, come up in between the two. Okay, and back out to the edge. Okay, and wrapping around. So stabbing up and wrapping around then. Stabbing up, and of course we're going round a corner here, which is a little bit difficult starting off, and wrapping round. So that's our corner done there now. Okay, and again another bend as well on his tail. So up, up and round. Okay, until now watching that you're going to do the stuffing then as well. So stabbing up, same distance in, wrapping round. Okay, and up and round, and then leaving a little gap at the bottom. So in goes the stuffing. Stuffing, pushing it into the tail and the head. Now just stuffing as you go, just taking little pieces and putting them in. So that's our little robin so far. And then we'll just close up then the little gap. Sometimes you never know when you have enough in it. So just the last little bit in there, okay? So again, keeping the two pieces together, stabbing up and wrapping around, okay? Of course then we haven't his eye on yet. I think that's our last little thing before we put the string and decorate the string and stuff on that too, okay? So literally that's your last little stitch there. Just do a little top stitch on the very edge there, and then actually I think I have enough thread to do the eyes, so I'm going to run it in between and try and bring it back out up at that dot where the eye is, okay? So we've little black beads, of course, then putting on the little black bead on your needle and just, of course, going up through the bead and down through the side of it, and you can come out the other side then. So one little stitch either side should be enough. Now, and just finishing off on the side here, just with a little back stitch, okay? Okay, so that's our little robin so far, and we have to put on the string now. So we're just threading up our needle on with the gold and putting it on there, and we can fold it over, tie a knot on it here, okay? Tie a knot on it there, and we'll put it in through the wing because we want to have a good pull on it. It'll be underneath the wing, you won't see the knot, and pull it out then in the center of his back, okay, like that. And just pull off any of those little extra bits there. Yeah, and that should do it. And if you want to give it an extra just little stitch there, just to make sure that it's actually going to catch. So that's your piece there now then, and then you can start the fun bit then of decorating it, okay? So a few beads, whatever beads you would want then on it. As I say, the way I have mine done there then is just a few little beads, different sizes, and coming back up to a smaller one then on the top, okay? So you can just start layering up then, so, and seeing what looks the best. So that, and a little bit of that. So different sizes, I suppose, really. So I think we might have enough on that there, all right? And then we'll do some for the top then as well. So a little one then on the top. So we'll go with this lad on the top then as well. So I'm only going to bring this down halfway, more or less, at that distance up. Okay, and what I can do is just tie a little knot on it below. Okay, tie a little knot on it below so it won't move, and a little knot on it above. Okay. So just to secure it a little bit now, but we will be going back down, so what I'm going to do is fold it over again there, so we have enough to go back down, maybe make it a little bit stronger. So I'll fold it over there and put another little knot on either side, and then go back down through my bead, go back down through my bead. Okay, like so, and again just tie another little knot on the bottom part of that there as well. Okay, so, and I then go back down through my beads that I have here, rummaging down through there like so, and then just another little back stitch then, making sure you have them nice and tight and the same length, and a little back stitch there then just at the top, then just secure it. And again, coming out underneath the wing, the other wing maybe if you want, then just to be able to cut your thread. That's your little robin now, decoration all done. Okay, with your little bit of embroidery. Now, as I say, that's your little robin now decoration. I hope you got on well with it, and certainly that you enjoyed the tutorial and doing that. And it's a lovely little gift to have, or to give away, or to hang on your Christmas tree. And I want to wish you all a very happy Christmas too. All right, and looking forward to the next tutorials in January. Then I'll be doing some more crafts. Okay, bye for now. Take care.